are you? I'm so excited, like every Friday, to be here with Kara and Dionne, having a great time talking about flowers. I'm Ana Galena. I'm one of the co hosts of this wonderful talk show where we get to spend every week learning something new about the flower industry. Don't you love that?
Yeah, something new each week. By the way, I'm Kara Jameson. I'm one of the co-hosts of the Flowers and Friends talk show for Bloom TV. I just love this talk show because it's exposing me to all kinds of flower things that I just didn't know about. And it's Bloom TV has just created just a really great community of floral loving people. Right, Dionne?
Absolutely. My goodness, you guys, I missed you last week. I did watch the replay. So thank you. I missed Sunflower Steve, but I listened to every word that he said, and I did watch the replay on the way home from Kansas City last week. The show was magnificent. Steve is just the sunflowers are ridiculous,
Yes,
and I need to know how to get some of those sunflowers. By the way, I'm Dionne Woods. Thank you all for being here with us this morning or afternoon, depending on what time it is wherever you live. I'm the owner and artist at the Turquoise Iris. I am a creative coach to other creative businesses. I host retreats and workshops, and I am the founder of the Turquoise Iris Journal magazine. I am an expert here on Bloom, and kind of what we're doing here, if you're just popping on, what we're doing here is we are spreading awareness. And Bloom TV is a streaming service centered around the flower. We have guests coming on. You're going to love this guest, guys.
Yes.
Tag your friends.
Amazing,
Your friends. I'm going to just tell you, this is something I've never heard of before, and I am totally intrigued on the beauty and the process of what we're going to learn today.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my God. So many people have logged in. We have so many comments. Oh, wow. It's great. It's great. Today's show is wonderful. But why don't we start showing a little clip from last week?
Oh, yeah. Let's see a little bit of clip from last week's show.
So we can jump in.
Okay. Well,
but you know what?
Show.
You know what? Before you want to do that? You want to do that, or we'll do the intro? Whatever. You know what?
Oh, the intro. No, let's.
We got to dance first. So let's dance.
Yeah, I like my dance song first.
What? Here we go.
Hello, everyone. If you're just joining, we have a great show for you today. Our guest is in Belgium. Oh my God, that is so incredible. And the topic, Ikebana.
Yes. Before we get into today's show, let's show a little clip of last week's show. We learned a lot about sunflower breeding last week, and we talked with Sunflower Steve, and he showed us these gorgeous sunflowers he's been working on for well over
years. And this man has totally invested in breeding the sunflowers to create something that we've never seen before. And that is another art. That is just an absolute beautiful art form.
Absolutely. I mean, he has videos of himself, like, you have to like take a brush and paint the pollen and mix this and mix that to create all these beautiful sunflowers.
And he said mom. He kept saying the mother of this flower. I was like, this is... You know what I mean? He kept, I was listening to his words and just fascinated with how he's devoted his life. And it's not just him, it's his entire family. Am I right, Kara?
Right. Definitely a family-run business. So let's show a clip right now.
Oh, yeah. Show him what we mean.
This is one of the colors. This is one of the original ones I call the Gigi, golden. The golden gophers that's where I went to college, and those are the school colors. So this one will be in a mix. Now, some of them will be more maroon than gold, so they'll be the inverse of this. And this is the one that I'm calling. What am I calling this one? For now, I'm calling this the Marley. It's maroon and lemon, so Marley.
Okay.
Really.
Yeah.
So let's. I have 150,000 flowers on the ground. let's make lemonade out of lemons.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to do these big floral art things, and people really liked them. They really, they liked them a lot, and so we kept doing them. Those are all lilacs there.
Look at
That
that.
was the best smelling lily because it smelled like lilacs. That was a Mount Baker lilac. Pocahontas lilac was the dark one. There's my little peony. That was the peonies. No, that's fine.
So those are
that
peonies?
Yeah, those are peonies. Those are Sarah Bernhardt's and Felix Supremes.
That floral art is incredible.
Yeah. You must go to his Instagram and see what he posts all the time, all the different flower art that he does. It's sun_flower_Steve at Instagram. You guys
now, if you missed last week's show, just a quick reminder, all 21 episodes are still available on replay at bloomtvnetwork.com. You guys, if you click on Flowers and Friends, it's a tab at the top. It's free. All of our shows are free for you to watch. Okay. So tell your friends, tell your grandmother, tell your niece, anybody that you know would love to hear a little bit more about how they can incorporate flowers into their lives. Please pass that around and tag your friends as well.
And you know what has been a constant in all our 21 episodes, and it's going to happen today. All of our guests are passionate about what they're doing. I mean, every show is filled with passion. We're always like, really? We didn't know that. And our viewers are always the same. I mean, it's so incredible. I love spending Fridays like this. Friday mornings like this are the best.
Yes. Well, let's get into today's show. We're all going to be learning something that I know I personally don't know a lot about. We have got Ekaterina Seehaus with us today. There she is. Hello. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So she is joining us all the way from Belgium. So it's 7:00 p.m. there in Belgium. And she's going to explain to us what the art of Ikebana is. And, I had not heard of this. When I became a bloom expert, I scrolled down at all of the hundreds of videos that are available. And I remember stopping at the Ikebana and note a few things that I noticed. It looked very zen. It looked like a beautiful art form. And it was one thing that I'd never heard of before. So I'm really very happy to have this opportunity to spend this time with you. And I feel like we get like a really fast forward deep dive into what it is, even more so than the videos that you have on Bloom TV. So we are very grateful that you've taken time out of your evening to spend it with us.
Yay.
My pleasure. So if we just go in the basics, like what is Ikebana? Where does it come from? So it's Japanese art. It's definitely more than 500 years old. So 500. And maybe older, but those are the first mentionings in the text. And it was created as a part of a Buddhist tradition. So it was flower offering to Buddha. With the time, it lost its religious meaning. So it's more an art for everybody. Okay. But the roots are still there. So it is very minimalist, but perhaps it's because that was done by the Buddhist monks.
Sure.
And the priest would come and, collect a few flowers in the field and would put it in a very peaceful way into a vase. And he would enjoy just, the serenity of that. And that character stayed on with the art. So it is about process to a larger extent than about the outcome. So we are focusing on how we do it and how the process works. Like for me, for example, starting with the arrangement starts from pouring my water into the vase.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I'm wondering,
and listening.
Yeah. And I'm just kind of wondering, actually, ladies, do we have any visuals that we can show the viewers that are watching right now, what Ikebana is, or just like an example of, do we have any of her photos that we can just flash on the screen so they can?
Yes, here we go.
Yes, look at this, you guys. This is what we're talking about. This is the art form of what we're going to be spending the next 20 minutes visiting about. Look at this.
Look at this. Those are,
wow.
I grow those, but I never even thought to do something like that. I love that.
Oh wow. That is
Wow.
grace, and so that's just, there's so much there. And so I wanted to just let everybody know, when we say the phrase Ikebana, that's not just the product, that's actually the process you're referring to.
Yeah, definitely. And when they are talking about the traditional way of teaching, they even say that the teacher was looking at the arrangement and was looking for like this state, like, did the student achieve this internal harmony when was creating, and therefore there is harmony in the arrangement,
I see.
or is it just a mechanical
Love that.
process of doing something? Okay, this looks good, but they would not feel it. And I don't know how exactly they quantified feeling it, but
Uh-huh.
in traditional descriptions of, let's say, about 150 years ago, when you can have some, some memories of somebody doing this art, that's what they were talking about. Like Europeans who were in Japan, like pre-World War II Japan, and they were taking classes, and they said that's how the teacher was evaluating your work. Have you been at peace, and has that peace conveyed into the arrangement? And I think this is really beautiful. What's really, really missing in our daily life now, and that's why I'm so passionate about it, because for me that was a very important part of my life, and it was helping me through the working mother time of period of my life, when I had this specific time set aside when I will be in this Zen environment.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
this is just
Love that.
Yes. Ekaterina, I have to tell our audience this because I think this is just phenomenal. So you're an Ikebana teacher, and you teach online, and you have students in 28 countries. That is amazing. Wow.
yeah, and it's a truly global art. Although it's still referred to as a Japanese art. Yes, it is of Japanese origin, but it's so widespread, and probably to some degree, like with English language, everybody takes it and then they make their own. What
Okay.
you speak and
Right.
somebody in Australia speaks is very different languages actually, but
Mhm.
it's still considered English. Same I think with the Kibana, we take it as like part of Japanese culture, but we express ourselves who we are through the principles of that art. So it is really not so much on what is it that you do at the end, but learning the principles of expression, certain sensitivity to beauty, and then it's you in that process that you're expressing. So like with any art, actually, it's a really mature art form, like painting, like anything else, but it's not as well known.
Wow.
Oh, I love hearing about that. I love hearing about your why, because we've talked a little bit before the show, and we talked about painting, and we talked about pottery, and we talked about, there's a lot of different forms of creativity that you are familiar with and that you practice, but this is the one that you center your teachings around, and it's kind of your core emphasis. I'm curious as to what part of this feeds your soul the most.
Well, I think this really resonates with me in the way that there are many elements in it that can make it very useful for people now. There's so much pressure on people in many aspects of life, and I don't see how that's going to get less. If anything, it's going to get more pressure. So how do you cope with that? How do you keep your mental health?
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
and that's where my passion for Ikebana really is coming from, because it helped me, and I think it's going to help others, especially women. I personally believe that women are under a lot of pressure.
Yes.
Yeah, so we now can do a lot more things. It's great, but that at the end it comes back that we need to manage many more things that traditionally women were expected to. So how do you maneuver your way and stay still, who you are and all that? And to me, that's a nice tool. It involves flowers. Flowers are beautiful by themselves, so it's very easy to make something good from the beginning. So you start and you already have 100% success guaranteed, because there will be flowers, they'll be beautiful anyway.
We
And
agree.
then
We
you can
agree on
build your
that.
skill. And then like it's the art form which can be so easily converted into home decoration. Like you bring it home after your lesson and you put it in your living room, or if you had an online lesson, it's immediately somewhere in the house, and you build it for a certain place in the house, and then everybody enjoys it. And honestly, I feel the how do you call it, vibrations, or a feel of space is different. Flowers, fresh flowers inside, which is Bloom TV is probably all about, inside how it does change the feeling of like the ambience. Ambience is probably the right word. So it does change the ambience of the house. So, and this is kind of already building into that practice. And you need for an Ikebana arrangement much less flowers than for the Western art, because for us we use branches considerably more than, you know, in a bouquet you would put a few probably for accent, but here it's like branches are the key to building the structure of the arrangement. We use other materials, we like use roots, for example. We use fruit. We use any kind of plant material which can be, you know, we can, where you can find beauty. And actually, we can find beauty in anything. Like a large piece of bark can be wonderful, or a dry strelitzia leaf can be amazingly, you know, moving. So those things, they are really making it open to try for everybody. Lower barrier, like economically, like you can have 3 flowers, 2 branches, and then you can have an arrangement with that.
Very economical. How do you select the foundation? You mentioned branches, but here you have a wide bowl that's narrow. And so how do you choose your vase, or I'm not even sure if you want to call that a vase. Do you?
Yeah, you call it a vase. Generally refer to them as a container, because at some point you can have crazy stuff which is not exactly the base, but you will use it as a container for your. When you start learning Ikebana, this is what's called suiban in the Japanese words. It's basically a flat base. That's what is very particular to Ikebana, because we're using the what did you call it? Pin holder, right? So the pin holder is the
pin frog.
Or floral frog, pin frog, yeah. But it's so really called a
kenzan.
Kenzan. Kenzan. If you look for it on the internet, it's kenzan. And it can be like different shapes. Like I have a rectangular one here, and that's, you know, for rectangular vase, this looks, they can be different sizes. I actually own one which is like this big. I have to like lift it like
this. They're heavy, right?
They're very heavy. It's lead base, because if you put large branches under an angle, they will try to flip it. So you want to have a fairly heavy base for that. But that's not the only way to arrange in Ikebana. Like you can be using vases which are taller, and there's no kenzan needed. So we have special fixtures from branches, for example. So branches are interlocked in a certain way to form like a holding structure, and then you add all your.
Oh, that sounds cool. I would love that. Yeah. That sounds so neat.
That's one of the techniques. So that I'm not going to go into today, but that's you know, that's kind of a step one for students, is normally starting with this sort of vase, and then students are given instructions in form of drawing. Normally, like lesson 1, you get some drawing, like you have, you know, branches are this long and there are proportions between the branches, and this is kind of the placement for the flower, but you still select the material which is available to you. So I have today I can have like branches which are with green leaves. I have already a bit like autumn turning slightly reddish.
Is that a Japanese maple?
Yeah, Japanese maple, Palmettum dissectum. It's red from spring.
I have one of those in my front yard. I love them.
They are absolutely wonderful.
And it's sorry. Now, I mean, the shapes, you need to look for shapes in the branches, right? I mean, a straight branch wouldn't, I mean, I look at that shape and that's art already. I mean, look at that. Isn't that so beautiful?
Nature's art.
It's prepped because I was selecting it already and trimming it. If it comes from a tree, it's something more like this, so you hardly see the lines, but it's important to arrive from this to this. So the art itself is to see this line inside of this massive amount of leaves and everything, and cut out everything to show what you have seen, right? How do you communicate? You have non-verbal communication. You facilitate it by removing what is obscuring your interest point. So here was this interesting line for me, so I removed the rest so that I can show it to you. You know, like there is this quote attributed to Michelangelo that when he made his angel, the angel was already in the marble. He just had to remove the extra pieces. So it's already there. You just have to remove other stuff so that people can see what you have seen. Like, oh, this fascinating. Like, oh, this is so nice. You can have arrangements with straight lines. There are lessons on different levels for students, and there is a lesson showing the beauty of straight lines. So you are, straight lines are beautiful, and you should be able to make an arrangement which has harmony in it, but it's based on really demonstrating this wonderful quality that you can have in nature. There could be very straight branches, very much going to the sun, like so much power in them.
Right.
So yeah, that's up to you to demonstrate it in an artistic way so it's pleasant and it's not looking harsh or kind of strange.
Yeah,
So,
I love that concept of you're eliminating the chaos that's covering the beauty within, and you get to decide what's beauty. You get to decide that.
and everybody for every person it will be different. It's completely subjective.
Yes.
So in Ikebana, actually, there are no contests, like, first prize, second prize. Sometimes people do that, but traditionally you can have, let's say, the head of the school, because Ikebana is organized by schools, and there are many different schools. That's, Japan. Everything is very well organized. So, but the head of the school could have a competition in the sense that everybody submits arrangement, and she or he picks out one and says, I like that the most. And that's okay, because it's subjective. And she says, well, that's the one which is going to, get the first prize because I like it. But it's not because it's the best. It's not making it better than the others. It's just to my taste. And that's, I think, the defining line in difference between how, Eastern reading of art is. They do not try to say that something is better than something else. So.
Okay. I love that.
So just a little bit, that's also Japanese scissors. They have no spring, like normally you got a little spring in between. That requires a lot of technique, so you have to use
Oh, I think I like the spring. Yeah, I don't think that I would work well with that. I think that I would get a little bit on the frustrated side.
Yeah, that builds awareness of your movement. You are not just doing something here, like totally immersed in what you're doing and forgetting where your hands and feet are and how you're breathing and everything else. This kind of keeps you aware. Because
Fair
if
enough.
you don't, you pinch it really hard and it's really painful.
Yeah.
So it keeps you present. You have to actually watch what you're doing. So you put your branch or your flower in the water. So you see I have a water cup here, and we cut it underwater.
In the water?
Yeah, and that gives a chance for flowers to drink better. So it's not the air bubble that clogs the channel, but rather water immediately is being sucked in because there is always pressure going up, right? So, and that's really helpful.
So that's the reason why flowers are cut underwater.
Yes, that's how I learned it. And then what I did, I cut it under an angle, and then when I put it into Kenzan, I use circular movement. So if you want to use Kenzan for branches, that's something which is helpful to try. So you just push it down and you make circular movements until it reaches the bottom, like the needles go through your material and then it hits the bottom of the Kenzan, like the plate. And then you can still adjust the angle. So I can still make it more to the left, more to the right, depending on how I like it. But already basic connection is made. So I will probably.
I noticed that you have your Kenzan off to the side. You didn't put it in the center on purpose. That was intentional.
Absolutely. One important thing for Ikebana, it can never be symmetric. Like there is nothing symmetric in nature. Like your face is never perfectly symmetric.
Right.
Leaf is not perfectly symmetric. And symmetricity has its place in, and there is classic art, which is, you could look at the, I don't know, Greek Parthenon, like, the classic architecture, the classicism period. But it's all symmetric, but it is necessary to show some stability. So if stability is what you are missing in your life, probably you want to do something very symmetric and it will give you that feeling. But Ikebana is more about movement and progress and going forward and, like dynamic of life. So we always make it asymmetric. And that's very important. So if you do Ikebana, you cannot make symmetric things. That's just not.
I did not know that. That's great to know. Very interesting.
And then, of course, I can show you a little bit just so that you have feel for the placement. So I have two branches, and you know there is some symbolic meaning normally attached to that. There are interpretations of different schools, but typically we believe that it's about harmony between human, the higher realm, and the earth. Right.
Okay.
So there are typically three lines,
Uh-huh.
and that they, you know,
You
you
know
can
what
argue
I'm
about that, but I like believing that. I like to give that meaning to my elements. So I put two first lines, and I
okay.
already have my three-dimensional character. Let me just step away a little bit so you can see, yeah, how it works.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm
I-
seeing that every move you make is intentional. Like there's nothing random about what you're doing because all of it has meaning as far as there's two branches for a reason.
Yeah, well, the first two branches, and there is third one coming. And typically we make a flower. Third one, the symbol for the earth is like flower, but it doesn't matter. So if I just show you how a position of Kenzan is changing
Okay.
the arrangement. So if I put it to the front, the movement is kind of stopped, right? So it is very close to the front, but all the water is behind. If I move it, let's say diagonally to this side, I have my branches going over the water side, the water surface, and I will get the reflection and I will get this contact with the water surface. And water is actually very important. So you always want to make some sort of reference to the water surface because this is something which brings the Zen character and peace and calms you down. So that's
I
kind
love
of
that. Love
one
that.
of the speciality. So like with this type of vase, it's more like you use it for bouquets as well, right? So
Right.
this is not really unusual to use that type of vase. This one is really possible to use only if you have a Kenzan or some way of fixing your material standing upright. And then you have the luxury of having the water surface. You don't have to cover it. If you use, for example, grids, you know, sometimes people make like taping on top of the container. They still have to cover the whole container with greens because those tapes, they're not really something you want to show. With Kenzan, you have probably a small group of leaves to, you know, small branches to cover it so you don't show it that much, but you still have the water surface and you can concentrate on that. So to me, that's one of
Beautiful.
the benefits.
Beautiful. I love that the water is actually part of
Yes.
the entire arrangement.
Yes. So let me bring in a flower, and that's the one which has a name Hikaye, and each school has a bit different names, but this one is going to be fairly low, and then that's the one which a lot of people in the beginning are like, why is it sticking out so much? And you know, I hear it from women saying, my husband said, why is it sticking out so much? But in any case, it's I'm now not doing any prescribed arrangement. So to me, it's freestyle, but still I'm using elements which are coming from from a traditional arrangement and from how we learn the arrangements. So I have still the basic elements. And then after I have my three main lines, or, you know, I outlined my space, and space is such a, you know, big story for Ikebana. We are managing space. Basically, we're not arranging flowers. We are creating space.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
you can make it bigger, you can make it smaller. I could have used in the same vase small branches here and small flowers, and would have been small arrangement. By just drawing the line in an empty space, you kind of suggest, okay, this is going to be my size of the movement. So and Japanese are really have their own concept of space. They call it ma, like nothingness.
Nothingness is ma.
Yeah, well,
Okay. And what
it's
kind
more
of flower
complex
is this?
concept than that. It's what is it called? I think in the US there is a name for it, but it's like basically like a one-day hibiscus, like hibiscus family.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like a hibiscus.
Yeah. But there is like particular names. One of the students wrote
Rose
to me
of Sharon, hibiscus.
Yeah, Rose of Sharon, exactly.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I was asking like, what was Sharon? Like, is it female name? They said
Oh.
something. Okay, fine. But in any case, so after making those three lines and outlining this space we're going to occupy, then only we start building the middle. So the mentality of the middle is it's like it's secondary. It's giving energy to the movement. So it has to be strong to support it, but that's not the point of the arrangement. And the largest flower goes in the middle. But that's, this is absolutely not what we're focusing on. And for me, that
Okay.
was fascinating when I started working on it, on doing Ikebana. That, actually, flowers are just supporting or giving life or giving the substance to the arrangement, but the branches, the lines, that's what is actually
It's so opposite of modern arrangement making because,
proper.
right, flowers are usually the focal, and here they're the support of the branches. So,
Well, and you still probably look at them when you look at the arrangement. You look immediately like, oh, I have a beautiful flower. However, when you are building it, that's not what you are, that's not your main tool of expression. You are actually focusing on the movement first, and then comes the flower. So that would be the basic outline of the arrangement. Then I would be doing some technical, so to speak, finishing, covering the canzon. So I would use small branches. I use one of those hibiscus branches. Then I can use even the palmettum dissectum branches. They're not going to cover a lot as they are very fine leaves. So I could use one just because I love the color, and I'm not sure how much you can see on the video, but it has like purple edges.
yeah, I can see that
Oh,
deep
yeah, we
plum.
can see beautifully. Yes.
And I can completely understand what you mean when you say that the arrangement at your home will change the ambience, because it does look so peaceful. I mean, just looking at it right now, it's like, peace.
Yeah.
What do you think, girls?
I
No.
love how you can really enjoy each branch and flower. I know in the US, we tend to cram flowers together. I mean, I'm guilty of doing this too. And you really can't see a flower's full potential because we have so many around it. But I love this way because you really can focus in on each individual element. And I think branches can be just as beautiful as flowers. Oh my goodness, there's some beautiful foliage out there.
Yeah, and that's really something which I have to gradually educate folks on. Those who come from floral art background, quite often they're used to working very quick.
Yeah.
And they really make a point like, oh, I am quick, like I am good. And I don't want to disappoint them.
Not a race.
because
It's
they
not a
have
race
learned-
to win.
Great point.
we're not in a competition here. We're not hurrying anywhere. It's about you and what you feel and you discover. Like I give sketching classes to my students in my Ikebana club. So every month we do some sketching, botanical sketching, so that they can have some time with the flower, just one-to-one. Like I just
Wow.
got this little seed bud, right? Seed
So
pod
beautiful.
from hibiscus. And I didn't see it until I cleared off all the leaves. This
Yeah.
is actually beautiful, and it
Yeah.
has such a wonderful shape. So if you try to sketch it, just spend 10 minutes, and you just try to draw it, you will find out that actually it has the outer layer of small leaves, and then there is the inner layer, and then inside is some, and then every tiny flower, like forget-me-nots, they're so complex. If you spend some time just
Yes.
contacting them and
Cute.
being with them and just listening to them, that's really wonderful and really complements this practice very well, because that's what we do here. We spend time with the flower. We try to see, like, not just randomly inserting branch how just quick, right? No,
Yeah.
I'm looking where it was growing. So actually this branch was growing this way. It was facing sun this way because it had to collect as much sun as possible. And if
Okay.
I put the arrangement in a different angle, I have to be respectful of that. I cannot put it with the back of the leaves, or I don't.
Oh,
want
yeah,
to
no.
like this,
Bad
right?
idea.
It will look
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
So if you really learn to look for branches which are right for your arrangement, you come to the plant, you see that upper branches are facing the sun this way, right? So they are growing like this, so the leaves would be horizontal. And it goes to the side, it will be like this, and the branch was going down, the leaves will look up. So all of them, they are different, and you learn to see that. And that's the first aha moment I see people having, like when they start taking classes after, say, 3-5 classes already, they say, oh, I cannot go on the walk anymore the same way like I did before.
Oh,
I
beautiful.
just see all these branches. I
Mhm.
just see, oh, and also the side branch, and I saw the up branch. So, you know, like I tell them, okay, those
You
are
know
the
what?
sides.
I love that you're sharing that because I want to say your name. Ekaterina.
Thank you.
Thank you. I love that because what that's doing is making everyone slow down on their walk and
Absolutely.
actually tune out the noise of the world and pay attention to the rhythm of the branch and the angle of the growth and the light. And so this is a practice at home that they can do online with you in your club. But while they're out among their day, they are remembering your teachings.
And they really get surprised with those things that have always been there, but they
Yes.
haven't noticed them. And that I think is really humbling for all of us. We just like, oh my God, you know, this actually is miracle, and how much more is out there if I never noticed this. And it's so simple. I just heard about it like a couple of times from my teacher. Okay, probably not from the first time, but a couple of iterations of like, oh, you start seeing the facing of the leaves. Oh, and then you start noticing in nature, and then you realize, oh, okay, I have a long way ahead of me. I have so many things to discover, and it's always a new layer. And what I love about this whole Japanese system, that's so structured.
Yeah.
The program, the textbook is genius because it gives you just a bit more than what you knew before. So you have a bit of like, it's always a bit difficult. It's always you have to try, and it's always like, you know, motivating. Okay, I can do it, yes, but it's not too much. So it's just what you can do. And every time it's a bit stretching, and you keep on growing all the time. Like I've been doing it for 12 years.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like I still have so much to learn, right? So the more you know, the more you know you don't know, right? So it's this journey that really is. I'm very appreciative of having this opportunity to, you know, to touch this art, to touch this culture, and be part of this.
We hear your passion right through the screen.
Oh,
You know,
sorry.
we hear your passion. No, that's good. That's good because it's beautiful to be able to honor this type of art. And I know that you're passionate about it. So would you leave it like that, or is this what you are decided is done, or are we done for today's show with this form?
No,
Like,
I'm done. I'm done.
Okay.
And please don't take it as, you know, some
oh, look at the
very,
beauty.
Oh, wow.
very simple thing to do. So normally, like with the trained teachers, they have to do it in 7 minutes, right? So they should be able like to show the student in 7 minutes, because longer person might get, you know, bored. But if a person who comes for first lesson, they do it between 1 and 1.5 hours.
Okay.
Really? Wow.
So and you look at it like, what is there to do? Believe me, there is a lot of moving parts, and a lot of things you need to learn, in technicalities, and how to place flowers and how to select materials, and that is being layered like over a period of time, so people get more and more understanding of this. So yeah, I would leave it like this just because for me that feels finished. But
I love it as well. I think that it looks finished as well. I didn't know if you were deciding it for our show, but I would also love to know more about how someone can learn from you. You mentioned your club, and I know you teach online. You have 28 countries that are all learning from you, basically. So can you tell us a little bit more about how some of our viewers could tune in and learn from you?
Yeah, sure. The easiest way is probably to connect on Instagram. So it's Ikebana_pro, like professional. So that's something where I explain from the basics, and I give every Wednesday live video. So it's on Instagram and Facebook. You can have this sort of show Wednesday, my morning. Probably you can do it, see it in the recording for like in the US, middle of the night. But yeah, actually, some folks are joining even like waking up at 3 in the morning, joining those sessions, so you can find amazing. But so you can go there and you can have a look, and Facebook is just my first name, last name, so no, you know, like all spelled the same way. And there is a website where I have a blog for Ikebana, so it's ikebanaweb.com. And on ikebanaweb.com, you can have a little bit of idea of the courses I'm giving. So it's like a little bit of understanding of, you can have a trial lesson or you can have 10 lessons. So that's just to get you started, to give you a feeling of understanding whether that's something for you or whether your life will benefit from this type of practice.
Wow.
So yeah, and I'm developing all the time new offerings, new products. So I'm thinking of making like a 3 lessons online course so that more people can try and just get into hopefully this life improving or self improving practice for themselves. So yeah.
I love that it's a way of living. It's not something you just, like you were telling us before the show. It's not like you take 10 classes and you're done. It's like you have to keep doing, and like you just said, you keep learning. I mean, after 12 years, you're still learning, and it's like,
Yeah,
like moving through life.
it is. And it just changes your perception of nature so much. And you can look probably strange to somebody, but you can be like, oh my God, this sleeve, like, oh, you flip it the other way around. Oh, the back side is so fluffy. And
Oh,
that
yeah. I love that.
just try to discover. So, and all this, I think it enriches your life. And that, to me, that's really different quality of connection to nature. And yeah,
I think it's a gift. I think it is a true gift that you can give yourself, to be able to find something that really makes your heart beat, but also have something that you can turn to during times of high stress, high anxiety, busyness, and be able to really have the tools needed, have the things that you need. So when life calls for that time of decompression, that you have a place to go to. It's a really true gift that you can give yourself. And it comes in many different types of art forms. It could be crocheting. It could be paint on a canvas. It can be walking through the garden like Kara does. It could be arranging for like Ana. It is, we all have our own unique forms of creativity that when they're not utilized, we feel chaotic, we feel overwhelmed, and it's a beautiful gift. And I'm loving this. I have Japanese maple out front. I have 2 of them, and I'm going to look at them a little bit differently, I feel like.
I think we
upper
all,
branch, lower branch. Yes, you will see the difference.
and the practice of living in constant amazement. I love that. I take that with me. I mean, living in amazement, looking at things from all angles, and not necessarily, and trying to see. I love that how you transform the branch, that how you brought up the lines cutting. And sometimes I hear a lot of people, I don't know about you, Kara, when you give your floral design classes, but I have a lot of students telling me like, no, I cannot cut foliage from a stem. Like, people feel attachment. And here you trim it and it looks so beautiful. So I think this is a nice practice. I'm liking it a lot.
Well, it's a practice of letting go, like it's say cleaning up your home and then throwing away old things. It's also taking practice. So
Exactly. Yes. I love it.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here with us today. We so enjoyed this.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
It was very enlightening. And for those of you listening, don't forget that we have more of her videos on Bloom TV Network. So if you're not subscribed, you can go to Bloom TV Network and you can see all the list of all of our experts. We have over 100 videos, and Ikebana is just one of our many topics that we share on Bloom TV. Thank you so much, Ekaterina, for being with us. This was very enlightening, and I love just the way that you teach and hearing your passion. It's very inspiring. So thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Guys, we've got a Halloween costume contest coming up that we want to tell you all about. We have prizes to give away. We have now it's not quite October, but it's going to be here before we know it. So when you are logging on to Bloom TV Network, right at the top, you're going to see Halloween competition, a spooky flower-filled Halloween competition. Now, I want you to get really creative. I know a lot of you guys have already got your pumpkins on your porches. I don't. I know a lot of you are already sewing your costumes and you're like, if there's a thing to win, I'm going to win it. Well, we want you to enter this to win. You just sign up for the newsletter. The rules are going to be listed. This is what happens when you submit your video. I want you to get really creative. Let's show us what you got. I know the lovers of Halloween are true. Like, man, they go all in. They decorate their porches. Do you guys use like hay bales and pumpkins and everything when you decorate at your homes, ladies?
I wish I could. You know why I can't?
Why? Because they eat them?
Oh, yes.
They eat them.
Yes.
Yeah, it would be hard. I'm sure.
So
I can see it now. And that Penelope keeps getting crazy every week. I love Penelope.
Yes. Yes.
If you guys don't know who Penelope is, it's Kara's baby goat. Oh my God. But it's not like a typical goat because it was raised by Kara. So now the little goat does not know how to get along with the
It wants to be a human, not a goat.
You bottle fed
goodness.
Penelope.
I need to find her and bring her on one day.
Yes.
Well, I feel like she might need a costume for the Halloween contest.
That would be
Just
fun.
saying. Like
That would be fun.
a little skirt and a little tutu with some flowers, like a crown. Maybe get Penelope a crown of flowers.
Yes, that's the plan.
And before any of you guys go, we have an incredible workshop planned for in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, right? October 6th.
Yes, let's see.
It's in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we have a workshop where
Let's
we
see.
have
of our experts.
right there. You need
There
to
it is.
register for the workshop, and you can find it in bloomtvnetwork.com. Right at the top, you can see the Halloween workshop, and we have 6 of our experts are going to be there. We have Holly, we have Lori, we have Carrie Luz, we have Christy Belk, we have Sionis, and we have Anna, all doing great Halloween stuff. Please be sure to sign up for that.
Those are some talented guests. We had all of them on our show, and
Uh-huh.
every single one of them showed me how to look at things a little bit differently, including like the okra. Remember the okra? Like a lot of those ladies were showing us different projects. So I imagine that they're going to really have a great Halloween workshop. So for those of you that are looking for something to do, even with the kids, even, something simple, but maybe they need a project on the weekend, on a Saturday, maybe a family night, that would be a really great thing to sign up for. And registration, was there a fee for it?
No,
I don't think there was a fee for
there's
it.
not a fee, but you need to be a Bloom TV subscriber, and we have a wonderful.
We have a little free code for you.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, it's right there. You can get a free month with the code FLOWERS. So if you sign up to Bloom TV, you can be a part of this wonderful workshop. But not only that, you get to see more than 300 videos all about flowers, and they are incredible.
One of the things coming up about fall is wreath making. And I believe, Kara, I know you make your own wreaths and you do a lot of that in the fall, but we also have something we need to tell them about our wreath maker here.
Yeah, so Bloom TV Network has a book club. Schiffer Publishing is one of our sponsors, and we have a really fun wreath book to show you. Let me show you this right here.
It's beautiful.
Yes, a new book by Alice Doby. It is called Wreaths, Fresh, Foraged, Foliage, and Faux. And if you guys are watching this and you take your phone, you can scan that QR code right there, and it will take you to a Bloom TV Network page. And within that page, it will show you all the different books and how you can get her book as well. And Monica Michelle, our founder of Bloom TV Network, actually sat down with her recently, and we have a video to show you about Alice talking about her book.
Oh, wonderful. Let's roll the video so we can hear more.
My name's Alice Dobby. I'm a florist come houseplant shop owner who lives in Brighton in the UK. It's about an hour and a half south of London. I have written a book called Wreaths, Fresh Foraged Foliage and Faux. And this book is a how-to guide, and the guide is for 16 different types of wreaths. So they make up, obviously, probably the clue is in the title, but we go through pom-pom wreaths, we do feather making wreaths, we do a whole wreath just made out of moss. And it's really a how-to guide of all the different things that we do. So it's step-by-step instructions. I made them all in my shop here. And that one's a paper flower wreath. And all of them are very simple. So anyone can do them. There's no like minimum skill set for this. And that's a few of them on the back as well. I really love my succulent wreath. So this is a living wreath, and this is just made purely out of succulents, houseplants. So the idea of this is that you sort of put all the babies and all the little cuttings in and attach them to the moss base, and then it's like a natural living wreath. So it's going to change season by season. Where I am in Brighton, you could probably keep it out all year round and in a sheltered accommodation, and maybe have to bring it in when it gets to freezing at winter. It's the book on wreaths because I think that they're so diverse, but people are kind of a little bit blinkered and just think of them as a Christmas sort of tradition. Certainly in the UK, people don't really have wreaths on their doors unless it's like from the 1st of December onwards. And we do a Christmas wreath making course here actually. But I just think that they could be for all seasons. You're always going to have that nail in your front door, so you might as well use it. So this book's available to buy from schifferbooks.com. And if you wanted to ask me any more questions about wreaths, or just want to see what I do here in the UK, my Instagram is Between Two Thorns, and my shop name is Between Two Thorns, obviously. And so the website is betweentwothorns.com.
Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. I love that she said a living wreath. When I've gone to Schiffer, I'm following them now on Instagram, and several of the ladies we've had on here all have their books a part of our Bloom Book Club. So I know that it's a little bit hard to find the book club, but I've had a couple of questions about it. Kara, you have more direction on.
If you go to the QR code,
okay,
and you scan that,
it takes on the screen.
Oh, let's see here. Right here. Right here. If you scan that with your phone, it takes you to Bloom TV Network, and it takes you to a blog post. And within that blog post, there's another link that you can press on, and that takes you to the whole list of books in the
Wonderful.
Bloom TV Book Club. And we've had several of these authors on our show, and it's just so fun to see them on there. So you guys check that out.
Absolutely. You guys take advantage of the free month. I don't know how long we're going to be able to run that special, but take advantage of that month. Grab on the newsletter every single week. Bloom sends out some of the highlighted experts, which is really kind of fun. Then you don't even have to go searching for them, but take advantage of the free. Use the word flowers and jump on the newsletter and spend a month browsing around. You're going to get hooked, I promise you. But even the three of us have new videos that are going to be coming out. You can watch Ana's premiere and hopefully more in the future. I've got some things coming up, and so does Kara. So we're just all really excited about what we're learning on Bloom TV.
Yeah, and we're constantly adding more and more with the holidays coming. So please take advantage of this. And also, we have a weekly giveaway. If you subscribe to our Flowers and Friends talk show newsletter, we have a winner every week. You get 1 free year of Bloom TV, a subscription, and also our dear Dionne gives us clay paint,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I
We
love to
have
ship
to
out the
see
free
her
paint.
demos about her paint.
I have my clay paint over here, and I've actually used my clay paint on all my canvases this last week. So I love just to get people's hands on it, because I know when they do, they're hooked. There's no going back. Once you've had the clay paint, I'm telling you, there's no going back. Ladies, thank you. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. If you're catching this on the replay, let us know. Please pass this around. We are episode 22.
Oh my God. And let me announce the winner from this
yeah.
week.
Yes, yes. Oh, yes.
We have
Monica.
Monica Summerman. So
Woo,
please,
woo.
Monica, yay! You need to reach out to us so we can send you the code for your free year. And so Dionne can send you the paint. Thank you, everyone. We're so happy to be here with you every week.
Yes,
Kara,
thank you so much. Yes.
I was going to say, girl, just tell us why. This is the place to be every Friday at 12 o'clock.
I know. It is such a fun place to be. And we are so thankful to all of our sponsors that are here with us. And new sponsors have been added recently. It's really exciting to see.
Yeah, yes,
grow.
yes. Let's highlight this. Let's highlight the new sponsors.
Yay. All right.
We have built the world's first flower-focused streaming network, bringing the public educational and entertaining shows that highlight the magic of flowers. Learn how to heal through flowers, cook with flowers, design your living space to reflect nature, make crafts using florals, sustainably garden, and so much more. We are your network for all things floral. Join us at Bloom TV as we help bring beauty to the lives of people and the planet through nature's most beautiful creation, the flower.
Love it. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We're here every Friday at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So please come join us, because you're sure to have a great time. Right, Kara?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You guys have a wonderful week. Thank you for being here. We'll be back next Friday with another fabulous, talented, passionate, creative person obsessed with flowers as much as we are.
Yes. So see you next Friday. Tell them why, Kara.
Because everything is better with flowers and friends. Thank you, guys. Bye.
See you all. Have a great weekend.